a blessed and a wonderful good evening to one and all here in St. George once again at Groves. I'm looking to do a video of Groves, but I will go over here and look down into the St. George Valley. First of all, this road here will lead you back down to Bridgetown via Newberry, Gun Hill, where you land at Gun Hill is, and the Gun Hill signal station, and back down to Tate Hill, and back down to St. George Parish Church, and back down to Bridgetown. Orchid World here, which is now, the name has now changed to Tropical Garden. This is where the Groves plantation was, Tropical Garden. Previously Orchid World, which you can view a wide variety of plants. So up the road here now, we'll be leading you back into the parish of St. John via Golden Ridge, where the Golden Ridge pumping station is, and the Golden Ridge farms. Then we'll be leading you back to Four Roads in St. John, and back to Four Roads, and back to Pool on that side of St. John, and back to St. John Parish Church. So this part of St. George is surely on the border with St. John. With St. John being a stone throw away. So I will go now and look over from the view here. So this is all a part of the land for Groves, what was Groves plantation. That's a very clear view into St. Joseph. So this bus is traveling in St. Joseph. I'll get to that shortly. This famous lookout point. It's not a famous lookout point because a lot of people don't know it, but this is a scenic lookout point in which one can overlook a bit of St. George. At the bottom here is St. George. And you can see a bit of St. Joseph from here. You know the front Andrews Sugar Factory was. You see the Andrews plantation over here. So all here is Sweet Bottom, Sweetville area, which is in St. George, which will also be leading you back into St. John as well. You can see the Groves, you can see the Andrews Plantation and Sugar Factory in St. Joseph. You can see a bit of St. John as well with Clareberry and Mount Tabor. This grass has grown so tall though. This grass has grown so tall. In my opinion, it wants cutting now. I want to go over it. I'll look over this section here, but let me see what I can do. me see how I could go in the midst of this thick, overgrown bush here. So again, I'm in the parish of St. George, which is in the center of the island. St. George and St. Thomas are the two landlocked parishes in Barbados that are best referred to as the heart of Barbados or the central uplands of Barbados. There is no sea nor coastline in these parishes. St. Thomas and St. George are the two landlocked parishes in Barbados. I believe I should have stayed where I was here. When we get here, you can't see a thing. Alright, I will go back to where I was. The grass, this bush is too tall. Let me go back here and stand up. Yeah, go Side Street. That's nice. Then back over to the St. George. Well, we won't be looking to St. George from here. We'll be mostly looking into St. Joseph, a bit of St. John, and St. Thomas from here. We can see Andrew's factory, the now defunct Andrew's factory, which closed in 2013 under the last government. Andrew's factory closed down in 2013 because government of that day wanted to reopen it as a multi-purpose factory, but that plan did not work out, sadly. So that is why it is there now with a high white fence surrounding it to keep away trespassers. Andrew's sugar factory is over here, so we can see St. Joseph down below here would have been Sweet Bottom, Sweet River area. You can also see into St. Thomas, which is in the center of the island. St. Thomas and St. George are the two landlocked parishes in Barbados that are best referred to as the heart of Barbados or the central uplands of Barbados. There is no sea nor coastline in these parishes, St. Thomas nor St. George. So we can see into St. Thomas over here with Portwell. We can look straight into Portwell and Ashford Long Road from here. The road leading you up to Harrison's Cave. Up that side you can see, and we can see all into Thomas, where the antenna is, CBC antenna, which is like Sturgis. And we can see it's St. John with Clareberry on that side. You can see the Basham bus traveling through St. Joseph. That bus is heading towards Bathsheba. So this is the countryside here, the beautiful countryside. St. George just concluded its month of events for the regathering 2025, which ended in June. So this is July now, which should be St. Philip month, the month for St. Philip celebrations. And St. George is the parish known for land and fertile soil. St. George is the third largest parish in Barbados St. George was carved out of St. Michael, sorry. St. George was carved out of the parish of St. Michael between 1640 and 1641. St. Michael is the mother parish and St. George was carved out of it. St. George is also my father's birth parish. And St. George is the parish in which my father was born and raised. For those of you who don't know who my father is, Satchmore that sings, or that used to sing years ago with the St. Powers group, is my father. And he originated from the parish of St. George. Back to the roads, you see the beautiful rolling hills, see all the beautiful countryside here in Barbados. St. George is my father's birth parish. My father was a songwriter. He used to write songs for Wendy Allen, Carolyn Leacock, Cheryl Hackett, and many more. Satchmore is my father, and he is from St. George. So we are looking into St. Joseph, St. Thomas, and a bit of St. John from here. All the farmland. This is the beautiful countryside here in Barbados. Bus to town, coming from Sergeant Street in St. John. So as I said before, the Golden Ridge pumping station is just over here. Around the corner here, Golden Ridge is in St. George, between St. George and St. John. I love this view. We are in close proximity to St. Joseph. St. Joseph, you can get to St. Joseph just below here. St. Joseph is the same Andrews factory, and that side of St. Joseph is just beneath my camera screen. So this is the lush green countryside. St. George is the parish known for land and fertile soil. St. George is also the breadbasket parish, and it is the parish that you can get your ground provisions sold at plantations within the parish. St. George is the parish that fed many Barbadians from the 1600s up until this present day. So this is all my Grove St. George vlog. Thanks for watching now. Have a blessed evening. Stay tuned for more videos of Barbados. And I love you guys. Thanks for watching now, and do have a blessed and a wonderful